Hello folks, Happy New Year. I hope you guys are enjoying your 2025 so far. I am shooting this way back in 2024 on December 31st. I'm just sitting here, I'm doing a little bit of reflection, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the channel, how 2024 went, where I see 2025 going, and then lastly, just thanking you guys for coming along for the ride. So let's get started. But if you don't know me, this probably isn't the first video for you to watch, but I'm Spencer and I like to talk about simple living, frugality, and reducing one's dependence on technologies, sometimes through the use of other technologies. So I'm sitting here, I'm just doing a little bit of reflection here on the 31st. You know, the New Year's is a time where everybody thinks about a lot of things and thinks about how they could do things differently and in the year to come. For me, it's kind of doubled by the fact that my birthday is like a week after the New Year. So it just gives me a lot of time to sit there and go like, man, am I doing things right? And how do I want to do things differently? And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. And I thought I would just shoot this video and share it with you guys. So 2024 was a pretty great year, and honestly was one of the best years for me on recent memory, for sure, on record. It was great. The channel was really a surprise. You know, I started working on the channel in late 2023. I had some downtime with work and I decided, you know, I'm just going to post consistently on here and see what happens. And I started posting like once to twice a week, mainly 2 times a week for almost all of 2024. And the channel has grown exponentially since that time. You know, when I first started posting in 2023 in November, I think I had like 60 subscribers. By 2024 January, I had almost 1,000, if not 1,000. And now we're at like 33,000 subscribers. So it really has grown a lot. And it's been so much fun doing this and sharing with you guys. And also having you guys share your experiences and your insights with me in the comment section. It's been honestly huge. We talked about a lot of different things over the year that I've been doing this. You know, I've talked about simple tech, stuff like my iPod, stuff like, you know, the dumbphone, how I've been trying these simple tools as ways to kind of minimize digital distraction, as well as simple things like frugality and using cash and paying with simple currency and stuff like that, rather than using card for every single transaction. I'm going to talk more about that in a future video actually. But I've learned a lot. I think I've grown in ways, and I also, you know, want to continue to challenge myself and not kind of pigeonhole myself. I think it's easy when you guys are watching me here to think that it's kind of, you have a good idea of what I'm like, and I think that's true to a degree, but this always is going to be a 2-dimensional plane, right? So I'm always trying my best to articulate myself so I'm understood. And then also to not allow myself to be really pigeonholed too much by either the algorithm or by my audience or by anything else. I'm trying to really just do my own thing and continue to do that into the future. And a lot of times that will be including me veering around and kind of like, you know, changing course, changing direction, and kind of just going to whatever is interesting to me, wherever my curiosity leads, I guess. But it also means kind of staying true to my values and what I actually, the ethic, kind of, you know, what was the basis for this channel, and then what I want to continue to do with this channel into the future. So in front of me here is a book. You can't quite see it here yet. But it's a book that was pretty foundational for me to the founding of this channel and kind of what my initial vision was for what I was planning on doing here. And as I'm kind of flipping through the pages of this book now, it's kind of bringing me back to that initial vision, but it's also kind of giving me a sense of where I want to go in 2025. So let me just share that with you quickly, and then I'll tell you a little bit about where I'm thinking for 2025. So some of you may have heard of this book before. This is a series of publications called the Whole Earth Catalog. And if you don't know what this is, you should take a look at it. You should look it up. You can look at all of them for free now online. They're all accessible online for free. And the Whole Earth Catalog is basically, Steve Jobs talked about it. It was very influential on him. It's basically, it was Google before the internet, and it was specialized to people who were part of the 60s counterculture, kind of the back to the land homesteading type movement people, but also people who were interested in the technologies of the time as well, because computers were just coming about at the time. So the Whole Earth Catalog is called Access to Tools. That's the subtitle for the book. And here on the first page, it actually, you know, it talks about the function of the catalog as well as the purpose. And here it says, the Whole Earth Catalog functions as an evaluation and access device. With it, the user should know better what is worth getting and where and how to do the getting. An item is listed in the catalog if it is deemed useful as a tool, relevant to independent education, high quality or low cost, and easily available by mail. Catalog listings are continually revised according to the experience and suggestions of catalog users and staff. So this book was kind of aimed at people who wanted to embrace self-reliance and kind of go the other way to everyone else. And it was this kind of device that was going to give you the access to tools so you would just kind of have something to hit the ground running. And I guess in a similar way to the internet, where it put you in touch with the kind of the tools and as well as the community of people who were like-minded in a place where you might not in your immediate place feel that you're surrounded by like-minded people. The book's separated into a lot of different sections. There's things like whole systems, land use. There's a shelter section talking all about building kind of self-sufficient shelters, similar things to like old shacks and shanties and even domes. Various types of woodwork that you could do. There's a communication section, which is all about like filmmaking tools. There was even a section on computers talking about the computers of that period. So that's kind of what inspired me to start the channel, was taking elements that I found were integral to the good life, which was like, not having your life dominated by technology, at least mastering it to have control over your time. Frugality and simple living, other elements like that kind of gave me control over my time and freedom to kind of pursue whatever I wanted to do. And I wanted to share that with like-minded people like you, and I wanted to be able to hear from you guys so you'd be able to give me inspiration to look into other things and then, keep cycling it back and forth. I share what I'm learning, you share to me what you're learning, and then the cycle continues from there. And so far that has worked great. I learned so much from people in the comments section. I started purchasing things like DRM free music from websites like HD Tracks and Qobuz, and that was all because of a commenter who sent me that comment, just recommended I checked that out. I also got my own setup with Plex, and that was because of a commenter as well. I got turned on to authors like Rand Prier as well, who I have found very inspiring, and that was because of a commenter too. And more than recommendations, it's people sharing their insights and their experiences from their own lives that I found so inspirational above all else. Seeing how people are utilizing different tech tools, either low-tech tools or even high-tech tools, to make those technologies work best for them, that has been extremely instructive and it has really improved my own life as a result. So overall, this has been great, and I want to take these good elements and I want to keep rolling them up with some new things as well and progress on to 2025. The other thing about the Whole Earth Catalog that's pretty interesting is that a lot of the people who were associated with this book ended up becoming some of the earliest people in Silicon Valley. Stuart Brand, the founder of this, one of his most famous quotations is at the front page of this book here as well, under the purpose of the Whole Earth Catalog, and it is, "We are as gods and we might as well get good at it." By the 60s, a lot of technology had emerged, and the photo of the Earth, which is the whole Earth from the Whole Earth Catalog, was kind of the foundation of this whole idea that humans have got so much technology at this point that they might as well master that technology and become extremely good at using it. Now, a lot of techno-optimist thinking has come out of that. A lot of the hippie people ended up starting companies in Silicon Valley and really shaping a lot of the tools that we use today. One of the things that I want to delve deeper into on the channel in 2025 is kind of what happens once you've got your perfect tech setup. What happens next? Where do you go beyond getting the perfect EDC? Once you have those tools you need, what do you do next? And it kind of goes to a bigger question of life purpose. And that's something which I want to talk about in a lot more videos in the new year. The other half of that is mastering the tools that we have, the technologies that are in our lives. A lot of people are moving to simpler tech like iPods and dumb phones because they find that the smart technology nowadays is just too distracting. And I agree. That's why I moved to those technologies in the first place and have been trying out different technologies throughout the year. However, I realize that most people are not going to be making that switch, and in a lot of cases, I'm not able to make that switch. In this modern world, sometimes there's a little bit too much friction from some of these low-tech tools, and it's almost just not functional. And that's not to say that there's no one who can benefit from these dumb devices. That's not the case at all. And I intend to keep trying those in 2025. However, I recognize that a lot of people just aren't going to make that switch, but they want to benefit from that low distraction that comes from mastering your tools. So that's going to be a big focus on the channel in 2025. It is ditching digital distraction without ditching the device completely. It's going to be mastering those tools and, taking on that approach that we've become as gods with these technologies, and rather than just fully turning them away, we might as well get good at it. For me, that's moving beyond what the actual device is that I'm using, moving toward how I am actually utilizing that device to live my best life. Now, this is an idea that's just kind of taking shape in my head right now, so I can't really go too much further on it right now, but just know that it's something that I'm thinking about for the new year, and I intend to talk about more here on the channel. Lastly, I want to share some documentary content with you guys. I really have been wanting to turn the camera around and, show some other people living interesting lives and people who are finding their own way, whether it's through discipline or strategy or routine or whatever it is, to live their best lives in this technological world. Finally, I would just like to say thank you very much for coming along for this journey so far. It's been such a blast having you guys commenting and, obviously following along and seeing what I'm doing over here, but then, interacting with me and then letting me kind of go back and forth with you, because it's been extremely instructive. As I've said, I've learned a lot from you guys just as much as I hope you've learned something from me. And I want to just continue that relationship into the future. I'm going to be launching my Patreon here in January 2025. So if you'd like to go a little bit deeper and support the channel that way, I'd love to have you on board on that platform as well. I might as well do YouTube memberships if you guys would be interested in just supporting all through YouTube. That's totally fine as well. And honestly, I'm open to getting suggestions on any of the stuff that I've said today, whether it's around the further monetization of the channel or whether it's around any ideas you have with videos in the future. I would love to hear any of your thoughts. Please let me know in the comment section. That's just about all I have to say for today, guys. It's just kind of a happy new year. It's a hello, and it's a what I have in store for 2025. I hope you guys found this video interesting. Once again, thank you so much for being around. I just really appreciate you guys watching the channel. You're all the best. I love to chat with you in the comments. I hope to do it more in 2025. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.